Let us continue. In previous class, we were discussing on verb. Now, we already know verb is an action which is done by a subject. What the subject is doing in a sentence, that action is called verb. Verb categorized as transitive verb. What is a transitive verb? A verb that does an action which passes over the doer or subject to an object. It means a verb in a sentence which will pass over to an subject. A verb which will pass over subject to object. Just look at the example. The boy, he is performing an action. The action which he performed is called kicks. What he kicked? He kicked the ball, football. Look here. The boy is subject. He does one action. The action shows here as kicks. It is called verb. What he do, what he kicks to another subject. That is called object. Now, the verb kicks pass over to object. Such type of verb is called transitive verb. A verb that does an action. A subject is doing action. That action is called verb. The verb does an action which pass over from the doer. That means from the doer, from the subject to object is called transitive verb. A transitive verb is always helped with the support of subject, doer or subject, pass over to object. That's the second one. Here, he spoke the truth. Here, who is the subject? Who do the action in the sentence is called subject or doer. So we can understand he is the subject. What subject do in the sentence? He spoke. It's a verb. The action done by the subject is called verb. What he speak? He speak the truth. So truth is object. So as per our definition, look at here, a verb that does an action which passes over from the subject to object is called transitive verb. Which means a transitive verb will have always an object in a sentence. That object is passed over from subject to the object. Next example. The driver stopped the bus. Here, who is the subject? The person who performed an action in a sentence is called subject. So we can understand the person who performed action in the sentence is driver. So driver is subject. What subject is performed? Which action is performed here? Stopped. So stopped is verb. What he stopped? The bus. So the bus is object. Now listen. The driver and object has one relation. What is the relation here? He stopped the bus. So an action which passed over from the subject to object is called transitive verb. Next part. Just opposite of transitive verb. Second point is intransitive verb. Intransitive verb, a verb that does an action which does not pass. Listen here. Intransitive verb, action passes over from the doer to the object. In intransitive verb, the verb never passes over to an object. It is only expresses a state or being. That means a condition of a person, condition of subject will be expressed in intransitive verb. Intransitive verb, action, that means verb, it won't be passed over to the object. Look at the example here. He ran a long distance. He ran a long distance. So here who is the subject? He is the subject. What he perform an action? Run. Run is verb. He is subject. Run is verb. A long distance is not an object. A long distance is not an object. So it is not passed over to an object which expresses state. This is the state condition of a person. He is run a long distance. Here next one. The baby sleeps. The baby, the person who is in the sentence through the action, is called subject. And sleeps verb. So the subject does an action. That action does not pass over to object. There is no object. The action is not passing over to object. Here, verb sleeps is the state or condition of the subject. It is called intransitive verb. Listen, intransitive verb does not pass over to an object, while transitive verb will pass over to an object from subject. In intransitive verb, an action which does not pass over to an object, it just express or explain or show us the condition of a subject and the state of a subject. Third one is, we know that it is a finite verb. What is a finite verb? A finite verb that has a subject, a verb which has a subject, that means main verb. It shows tense or number. Number means it is either singular or plural. That is called number. A finite verb has a subject. It shows tense. Tense means time. Whether it is in present tense, past tense or future tense. Just to look at that example here. I live in India. Who is the subject? I is the subject. I is the subject. Live. Describe what subject does. What subject is doing here? He lives in India. So for the word live, this is explaining what I is doing in the sentence. What I is doing? I live in India. So live comes the explanation of what subject is done. Yes, finite verb has a subject. So I is the verb. Live is the verb. Live has a subject, that is I. So a finite verb has a subject which express the tense or number about subject. That is called finite verb. Fourth one, non-finite verb. Non-finite verb is a subordinate clause that is based on to infinitive or a participle. Listen, non-finite verb. It is a subordinate clause. What is a subordinate clause? Subordinate clause is a sentence which has main clause and subordinate clause. Main clause will have a subject and a main verb. Subordinate clause will not have any main verb. Look, listen here. It will be to infinitive or a participle. Just to look at it. And non-infinitive verb does not show any tenses. It will not explain any kind of tenses, show any type of type in the sentence. So non-infinitive clauses, non-infinitive word is described as three. First part is gerund, second one is infinitive, third one is participle. Now look here. What is the gerund? The verb end in form and function as noun. A verb which end in form, ing form, and function as a noun, not as a verb. Function as a noun is called gerund form. Listen here, jumping is fun. Here, jump plus ing is called jumping, but it is not a verb. It is function as noun. Swimming is good for health. Swimming is not a verb. It is swim plus ing form, but function as a noun. Such words are called gerunds. Second one is infinitive. Infinitive, the form of the verb plus to form. To plus verb. It is called infinitive. Verb to plus verb. Example, to plus verb is called infinitive, and it's also function as noun. This is also function as a noun. Example, to jump is fun. Here, to plus jump. It is called infinitive. She had a suggestion to offer. To plus offer. It is also function as a noun. Such words are called infinitive. The third non-infinitive verb is called participle. Participle is a verb ending in form or d, ed, t, en or n. That means present part V3 or V4. In form is called V4 and d, ed, t, en, n is called V3. Verb 3, past participle. These are called participle form of verb. The dancing parrots entertain the crowd. Here our subject is the dancing. Dance plus ing, dancing. So dancing is not a verb. It is function as noun. This is called participle. So non-infinitive verbs three types. One gerund forms, infinitive forms and participle forms. These are the main verb pattern. Verbs, it has transitive verb which passes over to subject, from subject to an object. The verb passes action which passes from subject to object is called transitive verb. Intransitive verb, the action does not passes over to an object from the subject is called intransitive verb. Finite verb, a finite verb has a subject and that is called main verb, and that part has a main verb. It shows the number of a subject or tense of the sentence. Non-finite verb, it is used in the subordinate clause, and that has two infinitive or participle. It contains the verb, does not show any action. It won't show any action. Non-infinitive verbs are three types: gerund form, infinitive and participle. Gerund, a verb ending ing and function as noun. Infinitive, the to plus verb is called infinitive. Participle, the verb ending in form, that is V4 and V3 and function as noun is called participle form. These are the main part of verb. Now another part of the verb we are going to study auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb means it is also known as helping verb. Helping verb. That means which help the main verb. The function of auxiliary verb is to help the main verb. So it is also known as helping verb. Auxiliary verb and helping verb are same. So there are two type of helping verbs. Primary auxiliary, second one is modal auxiliary. How many? Two types of auxiliary verbs are there. First one is primary auxiliary and second one is modal auxiliary. What are primary auxiliary? Primary auxiliary has three parts. One, be form, have form and do form. That I already explained, but be form, am, is, are, was, were. Here totally we can see 5 helping verbs. The 5 helping verbs divided with am, is, are belongs to present tense. Present tense. Was verb belongs to past tense. So here am, is, are belongs to be form of present tense. Was verb belongs to be form of past tense. When we form a sentence, we used to make example. He is playing. He is playing. Here, playing is main verb. So, is the helping verb which helps to play main verb. So, is called helping verb or auxiliary verb. This is known as be form for present tense. He was playing. Here, he is the subject and he perform an action that is called verb, playing. Was is helping verb because was helping to main verb. Was from past tense. Second one is do form. In do form we have do, does and did. Do form, do, does and did. Same be form. It is also from present tense and past tense. Do, does both from present tense and did is past tense. Listen. Do, does is the form of present. Did is the form of past. Whenever we use did, we use did plus verb 1. Though it is past tense, we want to use past verb with the did. We use did plus verb 1. Example, did you finish your work? Did you finish? Here we use for the verb finish. This is verb 1, the present verb. We use with the did because did itself is already a past tense. So we want to use verb 2 or verb 3 with did. Another example. Did you call me? Did you call me? Here our verb is call is B1. So whenever we use the word helping verb did in a sentence, we must use only verb 1 in that sentence. Coming to do or does. Do and does from present tense. Do we use with only plural and does singular. If our subject is plural, we use do. If subject is singular, we use does. Just example. He. When we talk about the word he, we use here he is a singular, so we use only does. If our subject is plural, then we use do. Look at here. Do they come to party is a question. Do they come to party? This is a present tense. We use do because our subject is plural. So we can't use a does there because does comes from singular form of the verb. If you wanted to make it as a does form, we can use does he, does she, or does he, or does it. Listen, because does belongs to a singular form and do from plural form. So do form is do, does and did. Do does from present tense and did we use in mostly past tense. When we use the verb in does form or do form, we can ask sing plus does is sings. Yes. Play plus does plays. So we can write again in the same way. He plays football or guitar very well. Here we use verb does. Third part is how form. How form we have has, ha and had. Look here. The same in be form and do form. How form is also subjected from present tense and past tense. Has and have we used as present tense, where had we use past tense. Present and had we use past. The verb which we used in how form, that is always verb 3, that is participle form of the verb we used with has, have and had. In present tense we have two have forms, that is has and have. Has we use as a singular, have we use as plural. Example: she has completed her homework. They have came just now. Here our subject is singular, so we use helping verb has. Here our subject is plural, so we use helping verb have. So this has is helping to the main verb completed. Have is also helper the main verb in the sentence. So these be forms, do forms and have forms is also known as helping verb. Otherwise, it is also known as auxiliary verb. The functions of auxiliary verb or duty of an auxiliary verb is to help the main verb. The second part of our auxiliary verb, it is called modal auxiliary. Primary auxiliary after modal auxiliary. Modal auxiliaries are used to the mood of the speaker. So modals are used to mode of the speaker. They are usually these modal auxiliaries are usually shows ability, inability, possibility, request, obligation, permission, impossibility of to show the mood of the speaker. We use modal auxiliary. Modal auxiliary, we understand that it frame a sentence to know the person what is the mood of the speaker. What is the mood of the speaker or what is the mood of the subject. To show, to frame a clear mood of the subject, we use modal auxiliary. To show or to indicate the mood of the speaker or mood of the subject, we use modal auxiliary. Here, these are the modal auxiliary. We can understand the first part of this all used as present tense, and second part is also is known as past tense. Can used as ability. The past tense of can is could. Shall used as advice or suggestion. When we wanted to advise a person, we can use shall, or when we want